It says I'm right. Refresh. Am I live? Okay, I am live. Is there volume? Test, test. Okay, yes. Hello. I know I said like 2 days ago I was gonna play the day after I streamed, but I was too tired after work, so I was like, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, we're back with more R.I.P. Today we shall find out which route I'm in, so that's fun. I also have popcorn, so if you hear me munching away, then you know what it is. I'm going to continue from there. No, here. Chapter 5. After returning to the nurse's office with Kureha, I heard a familiar sound coming from my pocket. Wait, is this Koyo? I quickly took out my smartphone to see the screen loading with static. Yes. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but the icon told me who was calling. Oh, it's from my mom. I quickly pressed the answer button. Hello, Mom? I'll be home soon. I'm alright. Please, let her hear this. I'm alright. Just wait for me. The call was cut off. I tried to call back, but there was no reception. There was too much static, so I wasn't sure if she heard me. At least I was able to hear her though. I guess I should be thankful for that. Yes, very much so. I couldn't make out her words, but the tone of her voice alone told me. She's very worried. I just hope she's able to hear that I'm alright. You're right. I went to pull up a chair, but... Huh? Kureha? Kureha took me by the arm and guided me to the bed. I'm not sleepy yet. He's gonna tuck us in like a baby. Well, I guess that might be true. At this point, I realized it would be pointless to try and refuse him. So instead of lying down, I merely sat on the bed. This is enough for now. More than anything, I just need some time to think. I need to think about my future. The call from my mom made me realize it's time for me to address the situation. Wait. Kureha was about to shut the curtains, but paused when I called out to him. You said you'd be able to talk with me about my future, right? I knew that I'd get nowhere if I tried to come up with a conclusion on my own. Can I ask for advice, please? Yeah, I think so. Wait, yes, of course I do. That's precisely why I wanted your advice. Because I trust you. I want to be able to rely on you for things like this, Kureha. My notification's going off. What is going on? Oh, it's just one of them. I'll call this too. There's usually like announcements and stuff. Hey. After seeing that, I was paused with a slight feeling that I might have overdone it, but Kureha sat down beside me nonetheless. Hello. Huh? You're so stupid! I didn't mean literally. Oh my god. Did they not have that saying back in the old days, or? Having interacted with Kureha for a while now, I realized there were parts of him that would seem soft. But I didn't dislike that part of him. If anything, I liked it. Well, if you're okay with it. Aww, he's so sweet. Being so close to him made me feel a little nervous, but it also warmed my heart. So, about what I want to do with my future. I explained to him the issues I was having with my mom and was about to decide what I wanted to do with my life. I also told him the details of the conversation I had with my mom the night before I came here. I just want to know what I can say to make her understand. I felt like she wouldn't listen to me no matter what, and I couldn't stop worrying. Huh? Really? And that time, I'm sure my mom's expression towards me was just pure exaggeration. But perhaps it wasn't fair for me to assume her reaction, and I saw what he meant about my voice alone not being enough. Not at all. You're making perfect sense, Kureha. I've yet to talk to her face to face about all of this, and I let myself get depressed from a single phone call. That single phone call was enough to leave my feelings. Yeah, that could be. No, that's exactly it. Thinking about it logically, I could see that was exactly the case. Talking all of this out with Kureha really has helped me gather up my thoughts and feelings about everything. It wasn't as though the issues were solved, and I felt as though I had a better sense of direction. Kureha, I'm glad we could talk. I think both are basically the same. I've never talked on such a deep level with anyone besides my family. I'm really glad we had a chance to talk. There was a time when I was talking with my sister like this cheered me up. It made sense I could talk to her like that, but it was easy to talk to Kureha too. No? Kureha, I didn't think you were the type to be bashful about things. Does this mean we're on Kureha's route then? Why only me? Oh, I see. He often said he was charmed by hearing the way he said special made me think that he was implying something else. No, that can't be. That's not what Kureha means when he says special. It is, girl. I tried to deny it in my head so I wouldn't get the wrong idea. I think so too. While Kureha smiled brightly at me, I couldn't ignore the rapid beating in my heart. Oh. After finishing our talk, Yui and I left. Yui returned, and I left her with Yui and went out to find the last 7 wonders. I used to avoid hearing the rumors about them from the other students because they frightened me. Now, I regretted not listening. I needed to continue working hard for her sake. Based on her smile, I think I was able to ease some of the weight off her shoulders, but thinking about what that means filled me up with increasingly joy. Does that mean I'm important to her? No, I shouldn't overthink it. It will only make saying goodbye to her even harder. We should part with a smile. I needed to remember that, otherwise the expression on my face alone would have made it obvious. How terribly I'll miss her. It seems like we're on Kureha's route. After my talk with Kureha, I thought about sleeping, but I felt too alert. For a change of pace, I decided to go out onto the hallway. Where should I go? I'd like to chat with someone if I can. Can we chat with Yui? No. I'll do Hibiki. Haven't seen him in a hot while. I thought about seeing Hibiki and headed to the central hall stairway. I looked up at his cry and saw Hibiki standing at the top of the stairs. Oh, Hibiki. I called out and walked up to meet him. Were you waiting for me? I didn't think that was creepy at all. I came to see you, so I'm glad you were waiting. Hibiki smiled with joy. It's nice to see him looking so happy. Now, what should we talk about? I want to talk about... Cool. We actually should... Okay, I'm gonna save here. And then I'm gonna read all of his options. Because why not? Alright, okay. Fun. Okay. Hobbies. Let's go hobbies first. Hibiki, why don't you tell me about your hobbies? Daydreaming? Wouldn't reading be the hobby there? No. No! Yikes, things took a dark turn there. But now you don't have to daydream. After all, we're talking together right now. Well, since it's me, I'm not sure if I'm able to live up to your daydreams. Ow! Oh, his voice. Chef kiss. Oh. I'm glad to hear that. After the conversation, After that, we continued to chat about idle things, enjoying each other's company. It was a rather pleasant way to spend the time. That was cute. Bring it back. Let's talk about ghost stories. Hibiki, you're a ghost, but are you afraid of ghost stories? Oh, that's surprising. I assumed that you'd be afraid of them. I'm so glad it wasn't Kureha that asked him. Sorry, I didn't mean to assume. Then, can you tell me which ghost story you were the most scared of? Which one? Experienced or read about? The one you experienced? I wonder what it's about. Oh, can we save that for another time? Oh no. Let's save it for another time. Hearing something that's actually happened to him sounds way too scary. I need to try to maintain a healthy mental state. No scary stories for me. I wonder if we'll know what it was in his phone. Likes. Hibiki, do you have any favorite things? You, I love you. For some reason, he looked away. I wasn't quite sure, but it seems like Hibiki's cheeks were red. Sure, anything that you consider to be your favorite. He started glancing at me, and I felt a sharp sting of excitement and embarrassment. Wait, is he talking about me? I'm getting super self-conscious right now. Whoa! Oh, sure. I'm both nervous and looking forward to his answer. Either ways, I'm interested in hearing more from him. One more. Cool. I'm assuming he's also a high schooler, right? Hibiki, I think that high school uniform really suits you. You really think so? He was so excited, I was taken aback. Almost like? I am saying you look cool. Yes. He was even more excited this time around, causing my heart to race. I should prepare myself before I compliment Hibiki again. Go to the afterlife then. Crossover. Uh-huh. He's so lonely. Either way, it's nice for him to smile like that. See, all of them are nice, like conversations. But I just like Koyo's more, because Koyo has like that little banter between Misa and Koyo. Well, I should get going. Hibiki reached into the mirror before turning back to me. That reminds me, when Kureha tried to put his head in the mirror before, it got stuck on the outside. Oh, should I ask him about it? So, not just anyone can enter your mirror world, right? Permission? What do you mean? That's right. I remember hearing that a spell was cast on the mirror to create it. Oh, I see. So it's like your home, Hibiki. Inside the mirror is Hibiki's unique world. You cannot enter it without his permission. However, it was someone else who casted the spell on the mirror. I wonder if the someone else is the god. I might be curious to go inside just once. It'll be interesting to see what your world is like. Imademo. Maybe not right now. No! He suddenly looked downcast. Well, I just meant not right now. I meant not just right now. I would like to visit another time. He seemed so overjoyed. I felt a little sting in my heart, knowing I made a promise I might not be able to keep. Girl, you still have like maybe 1.5 years of high school. You can go anytime. Well, what did I do now? It seems like he's really looking forward to it. It wasn't your fault. He was so happy just a moment earlier, but Hibiki began to look more and more depressed. I've said this to you before, but it couldn't be helped, right? You were just drawn to the charm of You were just drawn to the charm of being nearby someone living, right? If you're overcome by that, then there's no need to be sorry about that now. Huh? After saying that, Hibiki quickly slid back into the mirror. Don't just uninvite me, how dare you? Hibiki? Hey. No, I'm gonna barge into the mirror. Otherwise I will break the mirror. He sounded rather upset. Did I say something to offend him? After Hibiki finished, I was left mulling over the conversation again in my head. I trotted down the hallway, pondering my earlier talk with her. The charm of the living. Was I truly drawn to her? Or was it perhaps that I was only attracted to her because she was the only living creature I interacted with? I mulled over the problem endlessly, yet the answer still eluded me. Once she returned to the mortal realm, it would be all over. I'd grown used to the solitude, but I also come to cherish the comfort of her presence, finding fulfillment in it. Which is exactly why I felt so sad about the prospect of things returning to how they were before. Things won't return to how they were. Misa said herself that she will go visit Hibiki and show him send us everything. Meeting her should have been enough. Her presence made me stronger, better than I have before. I felt lonely, but I'd manage. I simply continued my days here, cherishing the time we spent together. Back in the nurse's office, Yui greeted me as if she's been waiting for me. That's our girl! Whoa, that's incredible! Thank you so much! So, what's this rumor about? She seems a bit uncertain. Yui cleared her throat and began to share the final rumor. Did you hear about the male student who died in the cafeteria? He was quite popular. Many girls secretly had a crush on him. But there was this one girl. She would stalk him every single day. I made lunch for you today. Please enjoy it. He was kind, so he accepted it. Eat lunch in front of her. Little did he know, on that day, it was poisoned. The girl smiled ear to ear as we watched him die. But the story doesn't end there. Minutes later, she jumped from the roof of the building in an apparent suicide. I'm glad you're dead. Now we'll be together forever, and you belong only to me. After that, she turned into a spirit that haunts the cafeteria at lunchtime. After death, she was unable to find the boy she loves and wait for him to this day. I made you lunch. Because she can't remember the face of the boy anymore, she offered the same poison lunch to different boys in the cafeteria. This rumor's pretty recent, isn't it? A poisoned lunch. What kind of poison could a high school have even gotten their hands on? Before you started, you mentioned you weren't sure about this last one. Why is that? Huh? Wait, so there might be 8 wonders? But the printout only shows 7 corpse flowers. The 7 wonders of Narimigahama High School. The Forbidden Room. It's supposedly connected to one of the 7 mysteries, but nobody knows for sure. One of Narimigahama High School's 7 wonders. A ghost of a girl who gives poison lunch to boys she finds attractive. Supposedly, it really happens a few times ago. I never would have even imagined there would be more than 7 ghost stories in a school. Okay, let's start with the poison lunch and see where that leads us. I could see the concern in Yui's eye, which let me know how deeply she cared. I appreciate your concern, but don't worry. I'll be careful not to get too overwhelmed. I tapped my chest confidently, and Yui giggled. Thank you so much. I'll be heading out now. If we bring Kureha or Hibiki, would the girl just give lunch to them? Stepping into the hallway, I mulled over the details of the poison lunch story. Offering lunch to boys in the cafeteria. Approaching her directly might be tough, and I will probably need some help. I think I need a guy for this one. Immediately, one person came to mind. Should I try talking to him first? And so I went looking for him. Which route? Hibiki! I'm on Hibiki's route. Oh, interesting. That's why I need your help, Hibiki. Interesting. I'm on Hibiki's route. Oh. No, in fact, you absolutely shouldn't eat it. Of course I am. Even the thought of anything bad happening to you is unsettling. I had no idea how much poison would affect the ghost, but I didn't want to take any risks. Whoa. Love? Wait, Hibiki. Hearing him say love made my heart skip a beat. I'm sure he didn't mean it that way. Girly, no, I'm sure he said it that way. The cafeteria was completely deserted. I wonder where she'll appear. According to the... Then, just as he finished speaking... Back off, that's my man right there. Suddenly, a girl in the same high school uniform as me appeared behind Hibiki. She then offered him a lunchbox. No mistake about it, that's gotta be her. Strangely, she seemed not to see me, despite me standing right there. This made the whole thing feel so much more unnatural and frightening. For now, I'll just wait for Hibiki to take the lunchbox and avoid irritating her. Hey, that's not a part of the script. With that, Hibiki bowed politely to her. The girl and I both stared blankly at him. Hibiki, you have to accept it. I have a bad feeling about this one. She didn't poison the boy? Despite Hibiki's warning, I know it's not poison. There's no way a high school student could find any lethal poison lying around. You didn't give it to me! You gave it to Hibiki. Oh, that... We both turned to look at Hibiki. Oh... I like Misa, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to decline your lunch. I only accept Misa's lunch. Huh? Look at him blushing. The students stare blankly at him. She sighed and began to leave. Wait, please! I reached out, unintentionally grabbing her hand. Then vision began flashing in my head. The images faded, and I noticed Hibiki holding my arm. I'm fine. Surprisingly, I felt totally normal. The vision hadn't come to me with a headache I usually had when touching Hibiki. The images I saw just now, they must have been from when the boy ate the lunchbox and collapsed. She was panicking and calling for help. So they misunderstood you, didn't they? They thought you poisoned him, but... The girl's shoulders twitched. I know. I believe you. I confidently nodded and she turned away. Like tiny drops of rain, I saw small tears begin to patter against the floor of the cafeteria. It seems as though she wanted us to taste the lunch to confirm it wasn't poison. She looked up, wiping tears from her eyes. Oh my god. So that's the reason she was smiling. It must have been from the joyous moment of the both of them. He choked. The school's in a different space right now. He won't be able to come find you if you stay here. Can you help us? We need to confirm that you're one of the 7 wonders of the school and tell us your name. I can't promise they'll believe me, but I'll do my best to tell everyone in the mortal realm what really happened. Then, after a pause, uh-oh. I hope that doesn't mean Yui's in danger. Yui, please be safe. The poisoned lunch turned out to be a myth. In reality, it was a genuine lunch made by the boy she had a crush on. Made for the boy she had a crush on. The student was Kanao Saeki. She still waits for the man she loves in the cafeteria. Thank you. With that, our search for the 7 wonders of the school came to an end. We left the cafeteria and began heading down the stairs. I'm glad we awakened the 7th one, but that means we'll have to say goodbye soon. Sadness began creeping into my heart, but then... The whole time we were talking down the hallway, Hibiki seemed depressed. That's not true at all. Remember how you pulled me away when she touched me? He's not giving himself enough credit. Still, no matter what I said, I couldn't pull him down with a move. As we reached the landing between the stairs, he tried to duck back into the mirror. Wait, Hibiki. I reached out to grab his arm. I don't want to say goodbye like this. I didn't want him to go back to the mirror with things like this. I wanted to say goodbye with a smile. Everything was better because you're here. Without you, Kanao wouldn't have shown up in the first place. I'm not exactly sure how to respond to that. Okay, I'm not letting that one slide. But I chose you, Hibiki. It's fine to reflect on your mistake, but you shouldn't beat yourself up like that. When you can do that, it makes me sad too, you know. Hibiki turned his hand out to me, then hesitated. He sighed softly, then smiled. Exactly. I smiled back at him, which in turn caused him to smile even brighter back at me. That's the smile I've been looking for. Let's do our best to keep smiling like this, okay? Oh. It sure is nice to see him smile. Oh, right. I should check to see if all the cortisol has been filled in. I swiftly took the sheet out of my pocket. They're all colored in. I had expected as much, but seeing it in reality filled me with so much joy. Look, Hibiki, it's all thanks to you. His joy in the situation seems mixed with sorrow. Still, I knew that he was sad he'd be left alone again. I wondered if there's still time before I go back. Hibiki, would you mind if I visited the mirror with you right now? I thought he'd be happy with the suggestion. His reaction was the opposite of what I expected. Is that not okay? He just said to forget the suggestion. He seemed so happy the last time I asked, so I was expecting the same reaction, but I guess he was acting a little strange the last time I asked too. Sorry, is that too much to ask? In that case, well... No forbidden Itomi cage. It's a whole mirror. Lock me in? Huh? What do you mean, Hibiki? Hibiki's eyes began to waver, refusing to look at me. Finally, after hesitating, he opened his mouth to speak. I see. He had been alone for so long, I was just beginning to understand a bit. But you're not alone anymore. You have Kureha, right? Hibiki! Oh, protect him! Actually, no, he's his son. I think what he can do. No, that's so cute. But what's gonna happen after Misa graduates? My heart raced at his words. Feelings for me. Still, one doubt lingered in my mind. And you mean not just because I'm alive? I asked, my voice filled with tension. Again, Hibiki's eyes wavered and he stared down at the floor, refusing to say anything else. Perhaps he hadn't come to terms with his own feelings yet. The one time we touched, perhaps my warmth triggered the desire for him to fill the void, but after that point, he started helping me more and more. He gave me words of encouragement and helped me along the way. Just a little more. I wish I could stay with him just a little longer. I couldn't say goodbye to him just like this. If only I could help him cross over. I let go of the paper and touched his arm. I became stronger here, thanks to everyone's help. Even Hibiki came up the mirror to help me. Finally, I think I have the courage to stand up for what I want to do in the future. And so, now it's my turn to help you. Please, God, give me a little more time here. I want to help you cross over, Hibiki. It's what's best for you. The printout fell on the floor. Ah! And one of the corpse flowers had drained of color. Could it be that God granted my desire and erased it? After all, it was Hibiki's flower. Hmm. 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 Do you want to keep going? Sure, I'll do one more chapter. The survey showed 7 corpse flowers. As if in response to my thoughts, the one representing Hibiki faded away. I had a feeling that God who spirited me away here had something to do with that. The whole thing seems too convenient to think anything else. Oh, wait. There are some kids screaming outside, and I'm actually kind of worried though. The kids are not okay. They're screaming. Calm down. How can I explain this? I tried to find a way to explain things and calm him down, but was having trouble finding the right words. Hibiki, I want you to listen to me. Hibiki, I get the feeling that you being here isn't exactly good for you. So please, let me help you cross over. Huh? It's like he's frozen. Hibiki? Are you alright? Hibiki? As though to snap himself back to the present, Hibiki shook his head back and forth. Well, I picked up and unfolded the print for him to see. I pointed to the single corpse flower whose color had faded. I'm sure the flower whose color faded away was yours, Hibiki. Suddenly, he got down on his knees in front of me, and I froze in response. Hey, calm down. It wasn't your fault, Hibiki. No, it's the opposite. I thought I couldn't just go back and leave things the way they are. I didn't want to go back yet. Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. So there's nothing for you to feel bad about, okay? I straightened my posture and stared at him directly. So, Hibiki, will you let me help you? As he was still on his knees, I bent down to him and touched the hem of his school uniform. Yo, no touchy touch. Wow! Suddenly, Hibiki hugged me. Our skins didn't even touch. Okay, never mind. But I felt an icy cold chill run through me as his cold breath grazed my ear. Did you? Oh. I couldn't even tell if he was crying. I couldn't even tell if he was crying. His shoulders shook as he spoke. I understand, but could you please let go of me? I know, but perhaps it was because he hugged me so suddenly. But right after he said that, my face splashed with embarrassment. Even Hibiki's breath alone was cold. In response, I felt as though my body might be a little warmer than usual. If he were to notice that, thinking about that made my face felt hotter and hotter. Huh. I couldn't see his expression, but I could tell merely from the sound of his voice. Hibiki sounded so happy. I'm glad I decided to stay in this world too. Don't say that, he's gonna trap you. That thought came from the bottom of my heart. Hibiki had been all alone, avoiding others for so long. He said he was scared of the other ghosts, but I'm sure that part of him was waiting for someone to reach out to him. So honest and clumsy at the same time. Perhaps it was just my imagination, but his embrace seems to glow a little stronger. No. My face must be bright red. The more aware I became of, the hotter my face got, and the harder it was to come down. He cares about me. As his words sunk deeper into me, I felt a cold body pulling away from me. No, it's fine. Probably because of, the whole red moon thing. Yeah, I got to change topic. Hey, by the way, Hibiki, why don't you tell me more about yourself? True, it was a conversation topic I whipped up on the spot, but I did want to know more about him. I want to help you cross over after all. That's gonna be pretty tough if I don't learn more about you, right? Honestly, I wanted to ask him about this earlier, but I wasn't sure how to bring this up before. The fact that I might have the chance to learn more about Hibiki made me happy. Guess I don't have to hold back anymore. Maybe I accidentally touched on a sensitive subject here. I could understand why he didn't want anybody interrupting us. No doubt this is a very serious conversation, but Hibiki just told me he could trap me in the world of the mirror if he wanted, and I knew that was true. I'm a little scared, but what should I do? I understand. Understood. Shall we head inside? I nodded back at him. Hibiki's eyes widened. I mean, you're the one who suggested, right? I would be lying if I said the possibility of being trapped in the mirror didn't frighten me. But I decided I'll do whatever I need to help Hibiki cross over. I didn't have the time to worry about other things. No way I'm rejected. I trust you, Hibiki. With a slight blush gliding across his face, he smiled back at me happily. Immediately, the fear in me faded away. When I go to the mirror, how exactly do I do it? Hibiki held his palm to the mirror. As he did, a strange dark light appeared from behind the mirror and began flickering. An eerie warm wind began to blow towards me, causing the hair on my hair to stand straight. The hair on my arm. And as I come to this place, I see so many strange, wondrous things. This one has to be the most amazing. After he spoke, I approached the mirror with temptation. I outstretched my fingers and immediately sunk into the mirror. Wow! I dipped my entire hand into the mirror. It was cold and surrounded by pressure, just like putting a hand in a deep, frigid lake. As she spoke, she took a step inside the mirror, which rippled and swallowed him whole. No turning back now. I took a deep breath and followed in after him. So this is the mirror world? I gradually became used to the frigid sensation on my skin as I looked around the place. It really is the same. I like the place where I had just been. My surroundings were just like the school. However, one thing was different. It was as though the entire building was inverted, giving me the strange feeling. It's so quiet. It's quiet because it is quiet because the other side of the mirror is quiet, or it's the same as the other side, I guess. Just so quiet here. When Hibiki and I were not speaking, the world was so quiet it nearly hurt my ears. I get the feeling that's not all. His concern for me made me happy, and I felt a smile crept onto my face. Thank you very much. Yes, let's head there first. We're like in the mirror, going away from the mirror, and then now Kureha's gonna be like, oh my god, where is she? Where is she? So we left the mirror and headed down the first floor where the nurse office was. As we made our way down the nurse's office, I found myself looking at her, and a smile unintentionally rose to my face. If I kept looking at her, she'd start to think I was some kind of weirdo. I turned my gaze to the floor and stole one more glance at her. I couldn't believe it. I've never been this happy. Hibiki, if you keep looking at me... I might as well... try as I might, I couldn't stop myself from smiling. What if she thought it was weird though? I didn't know what to do. In response to my nervousness, she merely smiled kindly. It If it makes you happy, you should have invited me here before.
そんなこと今ここに来てくれているからいいんです
Seeing you smile like that makes me happy. I thought so before, but your smile really is cute, Hibiki.
かわいいですか
That feels a little, well, not vague. It wasn't what I wanted her to say. Hey, I want to call you cute, so I'm gonna call you cute. Do not tell me what to do.
男らしくないですよね
Huh? I didn't mean it like that. How can I say it? I wanted it to be more of a compliment. Huh? A compliment?
それならいいですかわいいで全然いいです
I'm glad to hear that. The look on her face, which seemed flat a moment ago, now faded into a soft smile. If she was giving me a compliment, then I was fine being cute. If anything, it made me happy. But someday, I hope she'd think of me as cool.
クレハさんはかっこいいですよね
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't really call him cute, yeah.
そうですよね
I hope one day she'll see me as even cooler than Kureha. Ah, that's right. Maybe if I have a sword like Kureha. Don't try it, buddy. Could I really do that? No, I have to do it. I have to be a man worthy of her. Unfortunately, Sweetie Pie, my current favorite is Koyo, so it's a really high bar to jump over, so. As we walked to the nurse's office, the halls were filled with only the sound of our feet and voices. The nurse's office is so quiet too. When I was in the outer realm, I was so scared of the ghosts wandering around the building, but here, no other soul is around. I found myself even more frightened.
疲れてると思いますし座ってくださいね
Right. I sat down the chair in front of me, and Hibiki sat opposite of me.
なんだか緊張しちゃいます自分のことを話すなんて今までなかったから
Spill the beans, boy. Just take your time and tell me about yourself at your own pace. After I said those words, gave him a soft smile, he took a deep breath.
どこからどこまで話せばいいのか全部ですか
It got to the point of the route that I finished my popcorn. I'm not gonna make more. I finished my popcorn, so well, he couldn't really tell me everything, could he? I want to learn as much about you as I can, Hibiki. Let's start with if anything you think to help you cross over.
成仏そうですよねわかりました
Hibiki stared down to the ground. Hibiki stared down at the ground as if trying to sort through his thoughts. He closed his eyes for a moment. Then,
僕が死んだのは1949年
my bad. Sometimes the pause is like really long and I accidentally skip them. He started speaking again after a short pause.
戦争で焼かれてしまった街中にも建物が並び始めて少しずつ暮らしが変わり始めた頃です
Yeah. I lost my parents in the war and was all alone in the world. I came to this city looking for distant relatives I've never met before to see if I could live with them. Before that, I had lived with some relatives from my mother's side of the family, but they said they didn't want me anymore. It's not like they threw me out or anything. I just happened to overhear some of the adults talking one time. They mentioned how tough it was having an extra mouth to feed. So I left on my own violation and decided to reach out to my father's side. I heard they were financially better off before the war. I remember when they first saw me, they looked at me as though I was nothing but a burden. They barely took me in. My room was in the corner of a storage shed and I was treated like a servant. I have no doubt living in the time and place. I have no doubt living in the time and place you do. It seems unthinkable to you. But those were the times I lived in. After the war, a lot of us lived hard. Actually, there were a lot of orphans who lived far harder lives than I did. I tried desperately to stay strong. I had to be tough, I told myself. I couldn't be broken. I had to keep living. During the war, my mother would always whisper, "Oh." She'd say that with a smile that would come to the surface of her exhausted face, and she gently patted my head. My father, too, was very kind to me, especially given the time. They were a loving couple, but they were not blessed with many children. Before I was born, they had a child who was stillborn. Anyways, my own parents wanted nothing more than me to be happy. For their sake and my own, I wanted to be happy. I find strength in that. I'd be okay. And I keep on going. Then one day, as I hurried home in the dark of night, there was a certain time I had to be home every night. Otherwise, my family would be very upset, so I rushed back. I thought of the punishment I would receive when I got home, and suddenly I felt as though I was going to cry. Still though, the sooner I got home, the better, so I took a shortcut. On the way, just as twilight was setting in, I happened upon a certain house. I was amazed by the magnificent gate and sights. I was captivated by the eerie appearance and just stopped looking at it. I knew that no matter how quickly I rushed home, I'd never make it in time, and in a state of complete despair. I wanted to escape reality, even for a moment. I wanted to think of something else, and so I stared at the strange mansion. The rumor is that she's been spirited away. In the past, when I used to come by this way, the garden was always peacefully maintained by many flowers. Now it was overrun with weeds and covered in dead leaves. It was a total disarray. The place looks run down and gave me the creeps. A chill ran down my spine and I turned around to leave when I saw a figure emerge from the darkness and immediately felt a dull pain in my stomach. I fell to the ground in a daze, then was hit atop of the head as well. It all happened in an instant. When I awoke, I found myself locked in a small room. Whoa. I was trapped in an unfamiliar room. I was so utterly bewildered. Then the voice came. A man's voice echoed inside the room. It was clearly the man that was completely mad. I was listening so intently to Hibiki's story, I almost forgotten to breathe. If you were poor, how did you go to school? That's my question. Isao Tsukigami? Isao Tsukigami. Tsukigami Isao. Of course, that makes sense. I'm sorry for making you think back on something so painful.
いいんです。あなたが聞いてくれるなら覚えている限りのことを話しますね。
I just remembered I might have something to do. I'm gonna check my notification if I got anything. I think I've got no messages. Then Hibiki continued with his story. The days that followed were hell. In the rooms, I wondered if the people here screaming voices. Which one is this? It's not going to be Hanako, cause it's too loud. I mean, too adult. Someone was being taken somewhere. This is the drawing kid. Is someone singing? He is singing! Everyone, hush. I think it loops now. Toki's voice is so good. I could hear them even when I covered my ears. Oh god, that's loud. My bad! I forgot to turn it down after hearing him sing. That was loud! The horrible sounds echoed off the walls. The sounds alone were enough to tell you that this is a terrible place. I knew that I might be killed. The moment I realized it, I couldn't stop shaking. My parents, they had loved me so much. The two of them have wished me to be happy. All I could do was wait for was to listen to this terrible sound of this place. Trapped alone, the only thing that I had was the sound of the place. Oh wait, is that? That's a mirror there. I wonder if it's related. From that point on, I concentrated on listening. The distant sound of the door opening and closing. The sound of footsteps approaching. Having only this sound, I found that you could tell a lot about someone based on the sound of their footsteps alone. The footsteps would approach my door, then pass by, heading for someone else's room. After the sound of the beating, the floor would creak with the sound of footsteps. Creak, creak, went down the floor. Perhaps it was the sound of the screaming child knocking unconscious being dragged by the owner of those shoes. Where they were going, I didn't know. But there was one thing I knew for sure. After they were taken away, I never heard their voices again. They were killed. I know they certainly wouldn't let go. When one of them was taken away, I would hear the sound of another being taken for quite some time. But after a few days, that dreaded sound would come again. I knew someday it would be my turn. I'm scared. Scared. I felt like I was losing my mind. Every time I heard those footsteps, I wondered if they would stop by my door. Don't come here. Please, don't come here. Please, don't kill me. As it continues on and on like that, I eventually grew numb to it and thought I would never have and thoughts I would have never had before came to me.
そうだ。死ねばいいんだ。
I'd rather die by my own hands than to be killed. Sticking around here will only drag away, kill, make victim of. I couldn't bear the thought of it. Don't you agree? At least my end will be on my own making.
犯人の思い通りになってやるものか。
And so I ripped the sheets and woven it together. I thought of my mother and father's smile. Their warm hands as they patted my head, the warmth given to me by the people I loved.
幸せになれたくて。ごめんなさい。
Through tears, I apologized to them over and over.
あの男がいけないんだ。僕をさらった。
My parents' cherished desires all crumbled to dust at his hand. I was so jealous of him. If I could, I would have killed him. I would have stabbed. I cut off his leg. I dragged his corpse all over the mansion. If he screamed for help, I slit his throat.
そうなったらどんなに愉快だろう。
Thinking about that was the only joy I had in the dark place. Then I tagged that cloth, woven with hatred and loathing, to a beam on the ceiling.
怖いけど大丈夫。自分で死んなきゃ。
With determination, I put my head through the loop I made.
お父さん、お母さん、僕はあなたたちの子供で幸せでした。
I hope my final thoughts will reach them. I was using the mirror stand as a platform. I stepped on it. I won't forget that moment of sheer joy. Ending things was the best choice I ever made. His face has been dark when he began speaking, but
僕の話はこれで終わりです。
what happened afterwards though? He said he, like, didn't go to the mansion. I'm assuming he went to look for his parents, huh? No, his face was bright. He was smiling. That expression was the same one he told me he had hanged himself before. I thought there was something weird the first time, but after hearing the story, it's like he was forcing himself to accept it, as though he had to smile to forget about it. There was a sadness in his smile. Before he killed himself, was he smiling like this too? Why? All I could say in response was, "You don't have to pretend to smile."
無理なんてしていないですよ。最後は僕自身の希望が叶って死ねたんですから。
His expression, his tone, his words. They told me there was nothing he was scared of anymore. The reason Hibiki is like this is all because of Isao Tsukigami's fault. Standing up from my chair, I walked next to him and gently put my arm around him. I won't tell anyone about the choices he made. But the last words to his parents and smile remained. Perhaps he wanted to convey his feelings. Maybe that's why he's smiling now. I had the feeling that he was trying to show his parents that he had made a choice, that he had allowed himself to be happy. I think your parents have already gotten the message. It's okay if you want to let some of that sadness and anger out now.
そんなことあるわけが。
His pale hands extended forward and... Fiji? I love it when they cry! I'm sorry, it's not the time for this, but I love it when they cry.
死にたいわけじゃなかったんです。生きていたかったんです。
Poor baby. Finally, his true emotions came out.
生きたい。生きたかった。死にたくなんてなかった。生きて生き抜いて、それで幸せになりたかった。
Hearing his words, I too felt tears welling in my eyes.
なのに
How painful was it? How sad was it? I could only imagine how he must have felt.
幸せになりたかった。いつか僕もお父さんとお母さんのように家庭を作って未来を築きたかった。
Unable to bear it anymore, hot tears began streaking down my
で
face.
もあの時はああしないとダメだった。僕はどうしても嫌だったんです。でもそれでもごめんなさい。お父さん、お母さん。
It's alright. I wanted Hibiki to let it all out. It must have been building up inside of him, locked up for decades. By trying to force himself to smile, he was deceived into believing that his death was something to be happy about. I can't forgive Isao Tsukigami. Ever. I heard about the whole thing from Yui, but still. Hibiki cried for a while after that. All the while I slowly rubbed his back over and over. I hope these thoughts reached his parents. It was important to know how many minutes. It was impossible to know how many minutes has passed.
ごめんなさい。もう大丈夫です。
I pulled away from Hibiki. His body is still trembling a little. He looked quite embarrassed.
男があんなに泣くなんて恥ずかしいです。しかもあなたの前で。
I get you're from the 1940s, but I know like this mentality of, oh, I'm a man, I shouldn't do this. Like, come on, you've been in the mirror, or like you've been a ghost right now. It's 2026. Chop, 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 chop. Lives out to this current period. Like, I don't know. Muku does it differently. Muku's also like, oh, I want to be more manly, but he's not like, oh, doing this is so girly, like kind of the way, you know? I'm just happy I was here with you, Hibiki. I didn't say anything more. I just smiled at him. I feel like it's a better way to convey my feelings for him anyway.
ありがとうございます。
No, thank you. Thank you for talking to me. I hope that this will ease your burdens, even if only by a little. The ghosts that were still here couldn't pass on because of their lingering regrets. From what I've heard about his parents, I think Hibiki's regret is that he couldn't be happy for them. In that case, to cross over, maybe he needs to find a way to be happy. Just then, my field of vision shook. Huh? I quickly realized I was falling over and had nearly reached the floor.
危ない。
Thanks to Hibiki catching me, my fall was
大
averted.
丈夫ですか。
I'm sorry, I suddenly got so dizzy. My head, it hurts so bad. It feels like it's going to split into two. Why is it all of a sudden? I was so careful not to touch Hibiki's skin, but
こ
why?
この空気に触れすぎたのでしょう。
Seiya! That voice. Looking up towards the door, I was met with a familiar face. It was Seiya. Huh? Why? I thought this was Hibiki's world. Nobody could enter without permission. You're the one that made the mirror?
今は説明している場合ではないかと。ベッドで休むのがよろしいでしょう。そうしてください。お願いします。
Hibiki's reaction seems a little strange. The way he acts with Seiya, it's not really the same with the others. Could it be this isn't the first time they've met? Why wasn't Hibiki more surprised? The pain in my head continued to intensify. This is bad. Really bad. I'll take your word for it and rest. Even moving towards the bed, I didn't feel like I could walk properly.
ゆっくり休んでくださいね。
Hibiki gently supported me and pulled a blanket over me. Thank you. Laying down, I could feel a feverish feeling from before beginning to recede. I must have been so tired. I think Saya was right. I breathed too much of the air here.
ここには僕しか。あ、今は大感謝様もいますけど、他の幽霊はいません。
If the problem is
だから安心して眠ってください。
If the problem is Misa breathing in too much of the quote-unquote air in here, wouldn't it be better to get her out? Hibiki smiled to reassure me and looked at his face. I felt myself calming down.
手は握ってあげられないですけど、ずっとここに
Go
あ
find
なたの
yourself
そばについています。
Go find yourself a glove. Hibiki. I'm glad I could rely on you. Hibiki. I'm so grateful to have someone like you to rely on.
だって
Flirting while Misa's like on the verge of death. Not really. Seeing him puff out his chest with pride, I couldn't help but smile. Is that right? Well, either ways, I'm glad you're here. Although he always looked timid and afraid, there was strength there that ate me so many times away. The pain in my head came back and I pressed down on it again. As he pulled the covers over me, I could see his hands were trembling. He seems to convey his emotion through the touches of the cover. Thank you. After saying that, I closed my eyes. Then I quickly fell unconscious. Gradually my thoughts became blurred, but Hibiki remained embedded within them. I never would have thought that he'd worry so much about me like that. I could see painfully yet he cared about me, and that warmed my heart. But that was not what I'm here for. I had no idea how long my body lasted in there, and my primary focus was to help Hibiki cross over. I wonder how many times I had left. In spite of my body drifting off to sleep, I was filled with a sense of urgency. I have to hurry. I felt relief as I watched her sleep. She has already helped me so much, and she had remained here for me, and she had made the decision all on her own. I've been so delighted by the fact I couldn't see how much it was affecting her. I couldn't let things keep going on like this. My voice raised nearly to a shout. I quickly turned to look back on her. It would have been terrible for me to wake her just as she finally got to sleep. And with that in mind, I got up from the side of the bed and strode towards the Grand Warden. Tachibana. I turned to look at her as she slept, then casted my gaze at the floor. I didn't want to lock her up here, but ignoring her will and doing whatever I want. I was embarrassed by how I was before. It was scary. When I thought of her dying here, I couldn't handle it. I mean, I wanted her to be happy, and want to be alive was to be happy. I knew that better than most. I have some regrets from even after I died. Oh, okay, obviously he is not going to cross over unless it's in like another ending, but not like the main ending. Cause I know for a fact there's Offenders, and it's not gonna work out if he crossed over to the other side, and then boom, we just have like no Hibiki content in Offenders. 恋をしてしまった。
成就しないと分かっている恋ほど燃えるそれは分かります。そういう理由は特にないんですけど。
Just what did the Grand Warden mean by that?
ではなぜそのような目を。
あ確かに好きになってしまったけど僕なんか振り向いてもらえないって分かってます。
そうではなく、聖者と死者が結ばれることは決してない、そう言っているのです。
Actually, I've watched Senna's Throne and I know for a fact we can.
そんなこと分かっています。
I held out a little hope. I held out a little hope in my heart. I thought back to the warmth of her hands, her soft smile.
ここで待っていれば
彼女が亡くなるまで待つと、彼女には彼女の未来があるのです。写し世に戻りさえすれば、そこで紡がれる新しい縁もあるでしょう。
I know Seiya's like spitting facts, but it also like kind of makes him seem like a hater, like jokingly. Like, actually. I felt a sharp pain in my chest as the last tiny hope I had dried
待
out.
っていても、彼女が亡くなった後、幽霊となってあなたの元へ戻ってくるとは限りません。
I knew that without him telling me. Even still, being hit with the reality so bluntly hurt a lot.
こういう場合大観主様ならどうしますか。
He quickly spoke without thinking.
思い続けます。私はこう見えても粘着質ですから。
成就しないと分かっていても
一度愛してしまったら、そう簡単には忘れられないのですよ。たとえ片恋だとしても。
I'd never seen the sight of the Grand Warden
そ
before.
れもいいかもしれませんね。
Chapter 7! Okay, I'm gonna stop here because I got other things to do. I need to take care of the dog now. Okay. Just like a good like comment I'd like to say is that Hibiki like flashback was really good. Like I felt the chills in my spine. Especially like hearing the victims like the scream, it made me obviously like this like school mystery there, it's a lot darker than the urban legend story, which is like it's good that it's different, but also like, oh my heart, oh I feel so bad. There's a lot I want to say about it, but I won't say it right now. I'll do it in the video that I eventually do once I finish the game. Yeah. I will maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Yes, I will continue playing